Welcome to the Homeownership Podcast presented by Momentum Realty, located in Hanover, Massachusetts. This series covers all things real estate and the best practices for buying, selling, and owning properties. Now here's your host, Sean Maloney.
Welcome to episode 156, Repairs vs. Improvements. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Maloney. Thanks for joining me this week. This week I want to talk to you about one of the things that makes us stand out as a company. Homeownership is run by Momentum Realty. People who work for Momentum Realty are called Move Mentors. Why? Because they're a guide and a mentor on the home buying, selling, and owning process. Did I just say owning? Yes, I did. Why did I say that? Because I want you to understand that we're here as a mentor and a guide in the owning process and going over repairs versus improvements. You want to make sure you connect with the right experts when you're going to do repairs and improvements on your home to ensure that the return on investment is going to be there when you're done with the repairs and improvements, especially if you're thinking about selling soon. If you're thinking about selling soon and you're thinking about doing work, reach out to us. We'd be happy to send one of my Move Mentors over so that they can make sure that you do work that's going to earn you more money. Nobody likes to spend $1 to get 70 cents back. Everyone wants to spend $1 and get $1.30, $1.50, maybe even $2 back for that $1 they spent. That's why it's so important that you talk with the right people about it. So now let's break it down in today's episode. There are things that are just expected on a home. They rarely ever add much value. These are things like a roof or siding. Think about it. You ever gone to a house that didn't have a roof or didn't have a siding? Well, that's called like a tear down or maybe a total renovation home. So we expect the roof or the siding. Having newer roof or having newer siding, it may add a little bit of attraction to buyers because they know now, okay, well, I expect the items, but I got a little bit of a reassurance that it's not going to need to be done anytime soon because it was just recently done. But this means those people that have maybe 15-year-old roofs that are replacing them, trying to improve the value of the home, may just be spending a lot of money to not receive all of it back. That's a tough spot to be in, right? You just spent 10 grand only to find out you're only going to get $7,000 back. That's not what we want to do. We want to spend 10 grand to get 12 back. Of course, sometimes we have to do these things, right? If we lived in a home for a long time and we let everything fully depreciate, the roof, the siding, that's going to be a really difficult home to sell. Why? Because lots of people aren't going to be able to get financing on it. FHA, VA, all those types of loans, which is some of the most common loans, need the home to not have peeling paint, need to have working utilities, need it to have working systems like the heat, need to have a roof, can't have rot, lots of different things out there that can make them not be able to buy your home. So now here's where I flip the switch and say, well, it actually sometimes can create more value when you do these repairs. Why? Because it creates more competition, and more competition means more bids means more money. So while it doesn't add direct value in the idea of, okay, I added this new kitchen and someone's going to pay me a lot more money because they want an updated kitchen, whereas when I add that roof, yeah, it's nice to have the reassurance, but it's not going to increase my bid that high. It may, if there was two houses, one with an old roof, one with a new roof next to each other, you may pay a tiny bit more for that in the idea of it's newer. But again, it's not going to just add that huge value grab that doing something like an addition or a garage or adding on a new bathroom or making a master or adding a walk-in closet or finishing a bonus room or anything else where we're really getting into improvements. Improvements are done to improve the overall living experience. These are items that make the property more appealing and more valuable. So repairs were things that you do because you need to. They're those items like tightening doorknobs, screwing things in, greasing things, putting on things like roofing or siding or new windows. Sometimes new windows are on the edge of improvements. Sometimes roofs, again, on the edge. But when we're talking improvements, we're more so talking taking the trees down out back and expanding the lawn, adding a garage on, adding something like a paved driveway when it wasn't paved. But again, every time we think about spending money on the home, I want you to think, I should reach out to my Move Mentor and tell him what I'm thinking. Bounce that idea off of him. One of the things that's great about this is we actually have no financial gain when it comes to selling you improvements or selling you repairs. The only gain we have is if we do the right ones and the house sells for more money, we make more money because we're commission based. But overall, if you decide to put in the wood flooring, we're not going to be throwing the hammers down and putting that wood floor down and making profit off of it. We're just telling you. Whereas when you meet with the contractor, they might tell you something because they're looking for work. It's like when you call in a Title V on a house, right? A Title V is to check that the septic system is legally compliant to Massachusetts law. When you call a Title V company, out comes a septic company. The Title V fails, they have a $20,000 to $30,000 job. If it passes, they have a $500 paycheck. So you can see where there might be a conflict of interest there. What I'm saying is our Move Mentors don't have that same conflict of interest. They actually have interest in your home. Because think about this, if we tell you to do a repair or improvement that doesn't get you a return on investment and the house doesn't sell, then we don't get paid at all. Or if the house sells for less, then we take a pay pay cut. If the house sells for more, then we get to pay expansion because we're commission based, which means that you can trust our value as far as what we're going to prepare for you and tell you to do. The other thing is we may be able to suggest contractors to help you out. We may be able to help you in the overall process of managing expectations, job timelines, and if you're planning on selling, making sure that we're going to have this done at the right time, that we're going to do the right one, that we're going to choose what other people want. Because oftentimes when we do these repairs and improvements, we're doing what we want. But when we talk to the Move Mentor and they say, hey, listen, this is the most popular color right now. I think you should paint this color to the walls because this is going to sell for other people. Sometimes as a homeowner, we get so emotionally invested in our home for ourselves that we think about what would I want? How would I do it? But the truth is you're selling the home, you're leaving, you're not going to be the homeowner. So what we want is what most people want, or the most likely buyer for your home would want, so that we make sure they pay for it. This is always true. When we're looking at homes, when we make it the best it can be for the perfect and optimal person that could be there, then we're going to find someone willing to pay the most amount of money possible. When people love homes, when they dream about being in them, when they get obsessed, they're willing to win at any cost. They're willing to put more money down. They're willing to beat out other bids. They're willing to do things like waive home inspections because they want or almost basically need that home. So by working with a Move Mentor, we're going to help you improve that. I'd call it like magnetism of the home, like the attraction. You know, how do people get there and like how do they feel when they're there? Do they feel like they're at home? Do they feel like it's the place for them? Do they feel like that they're going to be able to live there forever? Because we all feel that way at the beginning, right? We're like, we're going to live there forever. Probably won't live there forever, 5 to 7 years, but we want them to feel that feel right away. So guys, I just wanted to break it down one last time. A repair really is just the idea of fixing something, maybe a broken window, maybe putting on a roof when it's old, putting on the siding, getting a patch on your driveway, seal coating it, things like this. Do they improve the odds of getting offers? Yes, and that's how they improve value. But do they improve value on the idea of like, wow, your house has a roof? Or, oh, I'm glad you have windows. Like, no, those are just expected. But when it comes to improvements, they're the opposite side. They add both living experience benefits and more value. So when we're talking about the improvements, it's really, really important you reach out to us. The repairs, be careful what you spend. I would suggest reaching out to us, but not as big of a deal. But if you're thinking that you want a return on investment, you have one thing to do. Pick up the phone, call us, and ask us to set you up with one of our Move Mentors. Guys, I hope this helps you decide whether to do repairs and improvements and to help us help you by putting us on your team. Thank you again for listening. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast if you're not already subscribed, and tell all your friends and family about it. There's lots of people that could benefit from great free information on buying, selling, and owning homes. Make sure also to check out our weekly newsletter and blog, all found under the name HOMEOWNERSHIP.